Welcome to another episode of Airgun Detectives. This is JC, your host, and before we get into this, I want to show you the newest addition to the Airgun Detective family. That's little Declan. Yes, we'll have him in some AGD gear soon. What is he, like 4 months old now? Yes, he's 4 months old, and he is one happy baby. And I have no doubt he's going to be an expert shot at some point. Okay, so you guys are not here to see a review on a baby, so let's change this out and bring in... Okay, today we're going to take the mystery out of the Benjamin Trail NP XL. Anyway, before we get into that, do me a favor though. Could you hit the subscribe button down in the corner? Won't cost you anything. It's absolutely free, but it really does help support the channel. Also, check out the website at www.airgundetectives.com. On that site, I got various hats, I got t-shirts, I've got the Generation 2 bipods, which you see them mounted right here on this gun. Also have the Gammo, Sat, and Cat trigger screw kits. Those will turn your Gammo rifle, I'm telling you, into a match grade type trigger. Anyway, check that out. Then also, I've been putting a lot of my inventory up on my website. And it's usually just one of a kind. When it's gone, it's gone. All right, let's get back to the subject on hand. Again, this is the Benjamin Trail NPXL. This one is in 25 caliber. If you remember, a while back, I reviewed the 177 caliber one. So this one, actually it's fully tuned, and I will get into that in the conclusion of exactly what I did to it. But this is a 25 caliber. They make 177, 22, and 25 caliber. What is this? This is a Magnum break barrel. It has the nitro gas piston in it. It's got a 19.5-inch shrouded barrel. It's 48.25 inches overall length. The gun's a little heavy, weighs about 9.5 pounds with the scope on it. It's got a nice hardwood thumb hole stock on it. And the cocking effort on it, it's a bit heavy. It's 47 pounds. But with that, they're claiming you're going to get 30 foot-pounds of energy and up to about 900 feet per second with an alloy pellet and about 725 feet per second with a lead pellet. Again, yes, I do have my bipods on it, and I'll talk about all the things I've done to it. It's got an updated trigger and a few others. But for now, let's go out so I can show you the performance, and then we'll come back and talk about it. So stay tuned for the next segment. All right, let's test our Benjamin, or XL here, for some velocity. We'll shoot 5 shots over the chrony. We'll average it out. I'm just gonna chrono 1 pellet because this is the most accurate pellet, and this is one that we're gonna use for the accuracy test and our plinking session. It's the Barracuda Green, and these are around a 20 grain pellet. So let's shoot 5 of these over the chrony, show you what type of velocity we got. Remember, this is considered a Magnum. Oh, let's see here. Okay. Shot number 1. 862. Shot number 2. 860. Shot number 3. 867. Shot number 4. 867 again. And one more. .866. Man, look at that low standard deviation. That's what happens when you tune a rifle. Get that standard deviation way down there, and that helps with the accuracy a lot. All right, so there you go. There's your feet per second and your foot-pounds of energy. So let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's test out our Benjamin, our XL 25 cal here, for some accuracy. And we're going to use the same pellets that we used in the chrono test. The Barracuda Greens. These are around a 20 grain pellet. And we'll just shoot 5 shots. We're going to be looking for grouping. If they all don't go in the red, that's okay. We want to see how this groups. And we're going to be using these 4-inch splatterburst targets. I'll leave you guys a link down below. You guys notice I've been using splatterburst. I've also been using the HD targets. They both work really well. Go ahead and check out the distance we're shooting from. It's our usual break barrel distance, which is 20 yards. Go ahead and check that out. And let's just see how well we can make this thing group. Again, 5 shots. We'll go from there. This is truly a Magnum rifle. There's no question about that. All right. Let's go shot number 1. Yeah, I'd say that was a pretty darn good shot. That's for the. Let's see if we can stack them though. Let's try to get them all in that area. Oh yeah. And 2 more. Let's keep this going. And 1 more. Okay. Do have to admit, that's an incredible group. It really is. I take that every time. No question about that. All right, there you go. Let's go ahead and move on to the next segment. All right, let's test the pull weight on our Benjamin XL here. Now, I did upgrade this trigger. This is a GRT3 trigger. When I tuned this rifle, I decided to upgrade the trigger, so I put a different trigger in there. Anyway, but let's go and show you the performance anyway. We got our trusty Lyman trigger gauge here. Let's just reset this. Let's just see how we do. Alrighty. £1 pound, 6.6 ounces. 1 pound, 6.6 ounces. Yeah, tremendous trigger. Got it set just right. Just a hair over 1.5 pounds, and it is tremendous. All right, let's move on to the next segment. All right, let's do a little plinking with our XL25 here. We're going to go ahead and shoot the Barracuda greens again. They did the best in the accuracy, and there's also the ones that we chronoed. So we're a break barrel distance here. We're usual 40, a little over 40 yards. But anyway, go ahead and check that out. You can see we got a couple shotgun shells, a little egg, a steel pipe, and a little pineapple, little metal pineapple. So we're going to try to knock all those down. And keep in mind, this is a Magnum. I'm not making any excuses. There's a little bit of a recoil with this, a little more than usual. So we'll just kind of have to compensate for that and just see how well we do. But I'm going to knock the shotgun shells out first, because those have a tendency, if you hit something else, they have a tendency to get knocked over. So let's go with the shotgun shell on the right first. And then we'll go for the one on the other side. Alrighty. Oh, that's a hit. And let's knock out that other shotgun shell. Oh yeah, that's definitely a hit. And get that pineapple out of the way. Alrighty. Now the pipe. Let's get the pipe out of the way. We'll save the egg for last. Oh yeah. And a little egg. we go. Yeah, tremendous power with this thing, and some accuracy to match, that's for sure. All right, let's move on to the next segment. We'll go ahead and wrap this up. All right, let's wrap this up with our conclusion. So, what'd you guys think of the Benjamin Trail NP XL in 25 caliber? Outstanding performance, outstanding. What a gun, really is. But let me talk about the negatives right out of the box, because then I'm going to talk about the upgrades that I actually did to this. My big negatives right outside of the box is the trigger. The stock trigger on it, I'm not going to say it's horrific, but it's really heavy. It's not good. It's not good. When you make all the difference in the world, I updated this with a GRT3 trigger. And there is a tuning system that you can set up for the stock trigger, but I just preferred, I've had a couple of these laying around, and they're just incredible in this. And you saw when we did the trigger test, it was breaking. Much, much lighter than the stock trigger, much more controllable, and it's going to improve your accuracy without a doubt. Also, the wood stock out of the box, it's boring. It really is. It looks like there's barely any finish on it. It's very thin. So I actually stripped the original finish, sanded this down, stained it, and put multiple coats of lacquer on it. So, and performance-wise, took it apart and did a full tune on it. And what does that include? That includes honing the chamber, polishing it, doing proper lubrication, and setting that up. So between that, the trigger, and then I added the Generation 2 bipods, which they're on my website, which gives an amazing platform for shooting. And that's what I did. I also upgraded the scope, because this gun does have a pretty heavy recoil, and the stock scope didn't last on this. It didn't take long before it lost its point of aim. So that's what I did. So I definitely upgraded this. But let's talk about this. The positives on this, the power, especially post-tune. You saw the numbers. I averaged 865 feet per second, which gave us just over 33 foot-pounds of energy. And they're calling for 30 foot-pounds of energy out of the box, and we got 33. That's pretty impressive. There's not many brake barrels that put out that type of power. There's not. Oh, also I added the sling on this, which is cool, because it does come with the sling mounts. You just got to get the sling for it. Yeah, so definitely this is a powerhouse. Speaking of which, just to show you guys, this is a propane bottle. And I took one shot using the same pellets we did in our accuracy test, and it punched right through this. There's not many break barrel rifles that can do that. There's not. But this one did it with ease, so it's definitely a powerhouse. And as far as accuracy goes, you guys saw how well we did with that. I mean, I'm telling you, this thing is a tack driver. It's like any other air gun, though. You got to find the right pellet if you want the best accuracy, and it does take some testing. But those alloy pellets were those Barracuda greens were just outstanding. And you saw we got just under a 1/4 inch group at 20 yards. And then at our plinking distance, we were hitting everything. So it was fantastic. So remember, this does have a 47-pound cocking effort. But with that, it's a trade-off, because you're getting 33 foot-pounds of energy. You're not going to get that type of energy unless you have a serious spring or gas piston. And it's going to take a little effort to cock it. So, you know, keep in mind, this model rifle, it's one of the first Magnum brake barrels that's been out there. I mean, Benjamin has been producing this stuff for years, this specific rifle, actually. So it's still out there. It's still available. So it's a true classic. It really is. So how would I rate this? Well, I'm going to give you 2 ratings for this. Out of the box, it's a pretty awesome rifle, but I'm going to give it 4.5 stars because of the trigger, and just the way the finish is on the stock. It's 4.5 stars. Now, it's clearly a 5-star plus rifle. This thing would compete with any 25 caliber out there, I'm telling you. Once it's been tuned, it makes all the difference in the world. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Airgun Detectives. Don't forget, this is where we take the mystery out of the airgun, and occasionally we show you a new addition to the family as well. Little Declan. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Until next time, I hope you're getting a lot of shooting in. Your families are all healthy and doing well. So take care, and God bless.